And good evening once again, ladies and gentlemen, from the Peach Belt Tournament here in Florence, South Carolina. Ken Gerlinger at Sparrow Stadium, Cornell Field, for the final game of day number 3. A critical game for Georgia College, the 3rd seed, and the top-seeded Nighthawks of the University of North Georgia. The situation is this: North Georgia needs to win to stay alive in this tournament. If Georgia College wins, they advance to the winner-take-all championship game tomorrow. Should North Georgia win, these two teams will have to play each other again. This is the if-necessary round of the PBC tournament. So again, a North Georgia win means these same two teams will play again tomorrow at a time to be determined, but a Georgia College win puts the Bobcats right into the championship game. Taking a quick look back at how today has gone, we started this morning with Flagler defeating and eliminating USC Aiken 8-4. That was followed by this North Georgia team. They've already played today. They had a 1:30 game, and they eliminated Georgia Southwestern 4-1. What's working in favor for the Nighthawks in that scenario is that game was very quick. They got a complete game effort from Daniel McCrary, 223 in and out. So the Nighthawks played today in a quick one, eliminating South Georgia Southwestern. That game was followed by Flagler making their second appearance of the day. They defeated UNC Pembroke in a game in a similar situation to this one. Pembroke came in undefeated in tournament play, Flagler with a loss. Now the two teams will meet again tomorrow, and that game is now an elimination game, the winner going on to the championship. Which brings us to here, Georgia College and North Georgia. Georgia College is probably the most well-rested team in the PBC tournament right now. They played the very first game of the tournament back on Wednesday morning, beating Flagler 14-0. They run-ruled them. We have a 10-run rule here in tournament play for every game except for the championship. Georgia College then came back for game number 2 on Thursday, and again, they run-ruled USC Aiken, beating them 12-2. Both of those games, 7 innings long. So no team has played less baseball in this PBC tournament than the Bobcats. That game was at 1:30 on Thursday, and they have been off since then. So since Georgia College last played, North Georgia has played 3 times, or this will be their 3rd game in that time. So we'll have to see if the fatigue is going to be an issue, or how the two will respond. I know North Georgia, again, getting the benefit of a quick game this afternoon, should be in prime shape and ready to go. There's also the school of thought that playing more makes you more game ready. We'll have to see how all that shapes out. So North Georgia is going to be the home team in this contest. Georgia College, the visitors, for the first time in the Peach Belt tournament. A couple of notes to point out first for Georgia College. As we mentioned, they run-ruled their opponents in both of their first 2 games. Georgia College came into the tournament hitting .357 as a team. That is the highest batting average in any NCAA division, 1, 2, or 3. The best in the nation. Since they've been here, those numbers have gone up. Now they're hitting .363 as a team. Really a murderer's row of talent for these Bobcats, and we'll take a look at the starting lineups in just a second. So beware the bats of Georgia College. For North Georgia, again, what their strength has been all year is pitching. They got a complete game effort. As I mentioned, they had the lowest team ERA in the Peach Belt Conference this year. They had 2 first-team all-conference pitchers and another named second team. So all 3 of their weekend starters are named all-conference this year. So let's take a look at the starting lineups for both of these teams. As I mentioned, Georgia College is going to lead things off, and batting first will be the third baseman, number 6, Cal Gentry. Batting second, the shortstop, number 5, Brandon Benson. Batting third, the center fielder, number 2, Logan Maddox. Batting fourth in right field is Wesley Womack. Batting fifth, the catcher, number 11, Brandon Purcell. Batting sixth at first base, number 18, Clayton Ayers. Batting seventh in left field, number 7, Nate Schmall. Batting eighth, the designated hitter, number 42, is Philip Stiles. And batting ninth, the second baseman, number 1, Garrett Green. And we'll take a look at the North Georgia lineup before they come up for their first bat, but I want to mention the North Georgia starter tonight is Gabe Moore, the junior righty, wearing number 22, Moore 2-0, a 3.27 ERA. This is his 5th start of the season and 10th overall appearance. He has pitched 22 innings this year. He's given up 17 hits, 8 runs, all earned, walked 10, and struck out 18. And the first pitch he sends to Cal Gentry is skied into center field, and there to collect it is Tomlinson. So one away on the flyout on the first pitch of the game. And that's going to bring to the plate Brandon Benson, the shortstop, the Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year. Benson hitting .394 on the season, 22 home runs and 72 RBIs. Both of those numbers are the best in all of NCAA Division II. So he stands in there and takes ball one from Moore. Moore, as I mentioned, only his fifth start of the season, 22 innings, 10 walks, 18 strikeouts. Batters, though, only hitting .218 against him. I have a feeling for Coach Tom Cantrell and the Nighthawks that it's going to be a Johnny Holstaff situation in that he'll get as many innings out of Moore as he can, but he's going to be pretty quick to pull the trigger on anybody. And I think everybody whose arm is not jelly after all the games they played is going to be available for the Nighthawks tonight. Again, our tournament format modeled after the NCAA World Series bracket, but condensed into 4 days, and it can be tough on pitching staffs. Swing and a miss. Big cut that time by Benson. Benson was the second straight Georgia College player to be named the PBC Player of the Year. Dylan Cook won that award last year. Benson stands in under the lights here in Florence and looks at ball one just on the outside. Ball three, excuse me, 3-2. Full count now to Benson. One out, nobody on here in the top of the first. Next pitch is low. Ball four. So a one-out walk will put Benson on base. For all of his power, he's not really much of a threat to steal. 3 steals in 4 attempts for Benson this year. But that's going to bring to the plate Logan Maddox. And I tell you, looking at these numbers, the entire Georgia College lineup is really a murderer's row of offensive talent. Maddox, the junior center fielder, hitting .384 on the year, 12 home runs, 58 RBIs. On any other team, that would be leading the squad. Here he's got second in both categories behind Benson. And he takes strike one from Gabe Moore. So our entire schedule for tomorrow's games is dependent on how this game plays out. And I will let you know at the end of this contest what that schedule is going to be. The 1-1. Well, instead, I'm going to throw back over to first. Keeping an eye on Benson. Just to keep him honest, I guess. Again, North Georgia has, they're really being tested with their endurance here because they played a game last night that didn't end until 1:45 in the morning. So, yeah, technically this is their third game today, if you think about it in a 24-hour period. Three and one, the count to Maddox with a runner on. Yeah, it was North Georgia and Pembroke last night. Game is scheduled to start at this time at 8:30, but ended up going at 9:30 because of an extra inning game preceding it between Georgia Southwestern and Columbus State. So the two didn't take the field until 9:30 and then proceeded to play a 4-hour and 14-minute game that ended with an 8-5 Pembroke win. So North Georgia got back to the hotel around 2:30 in the morning last night, had to get up for a 1:30 afternoon start today, and now they're here again for an 8:30 start. Runner goes, hit and run. Maddox skies it into the air, out to right field. Corbett for North Georgia camps out underneath it and makes the catch. So F9, and the second out is in the books here in the top of the first. But as anybody who's spent any time around collegiate baseball knows, when you get into postseason tournament play, whether at the conference or national level, that's just the kind of thing that happens. And when you're trying to play a whole bunch of games in a few days. And credit to North Georgia, they have maintained their competitiveness throughout all of that. And again, throwing over to keep an eye on Benson at first. We already know we're going to have one, if necessary, game tomorrow, as Pembroke lost to Flagler 4-3. Pembroke was in the position that Georgia College is in, where a win in that game would have propelled them automatically into the winner-take-all championship game. Instead, they're going to have to play Flagler again tomorrow, the winner of that game going to the final. Now, I'm a little puzzled as to why they're spending so much time keeping an eye on Brandon Benson. As I mentioned, he's only stolen 3 bases all year long. He's only tried it 4 times. I understand with Georgia College and their offensive prowess, you really want to limit their scoring opportunities. Benson's going to go. Ball, though, squirts away as ball 4 anyway. Or was it? Did it hit the batter? Had to hit the batter. The count was like 0-1. So a hit batter, and it wouldn't have mattered because 1, Benson was going to steal. 2, the pitch squirted away from catcher Perez out of the backstop. And 3, it hit the batter. So take any one of those 3, and now you have runners at first and second. And that's going to bring to the plate Wesley Womack. And check that, it was Womack who got hit by the pitch. My apologies. And that'll bring up Brandon Purcell. Purcell, a second-team all-conference catcher. Hitting .325, 10 home runs, 55 RBI. .582 slugging percentage on the year. He's ahead in the count 1-0. Moore comes set. That one right in there, a strike. Nice off-speed pitch that time. The 1-1 misses low and away. Ball 2. GC has hit 59 home runs as a team. Here's a shot right back. It hits the pitcher Moore. He picks it up, throws to first to get the out. But he took that one right in the shoulder of his throwing hand, so kind of in the back. But so we're going to have to see if he's able to shake that off. He's kind of gingerly making his way into the dugout right now. And he's giving everybody a high five, so we'll have to see if he can come back. As we have finished a half of an inning, we're heading to the bottom of the first, still no score. Bottom of the first inning now for North Georgia, and we'll take a look at the starting lineup for the Nighthawks. Leading off will be the second baseman, number 14, Devin Gearhart. Batting second, the shortstop, number 8, Connor Hoover. Batting third and playing at third base is number 23, Michael Gouge. Batting fourth, the first baseman, number 41, Trevor Sams. Batting fifth, the designated hitter, number 28, Bill Leroy. Batting sixth and right fielder is number 25, Connor Corbett. Batting seventh, the center fielder, number 30, Stephen Tomlinson. Batting eighth, the left fielder, number 6, Cal Dempsey. And batting ninth, the catcher, number 24, Andres Perez. North Georgia, the number 1 seed in this tournament. They won the regular season championship for the second time in the last 3 years. But the Nighthawks suffered a setback in their second game of this tournament and have had to make their way through the elimination bracket. And to win this tournament, they're going to have to play 4 games in 2 days. Or 5 if you count the 2 a.m. finish earlier today. A tall order for any team. And the Nighthawks will be facing off against Georgia College starter Trevor Guthrie, the senior righty. 4-2 with a 4.35 ERA. This will be appearance number 16 and start number 10 for Guthrie this year. 51 2/3 innings of work. Giving up 25 earned runs, only 9 strikeouts 9 walks and 30 strikeouts during that time. Batters hitting a troublesome 346 against him, though, this year. So a feast or famine kind of guy. He throws one right down the middle. As Devin Gearhart stands in, taking strike 1. Next pitch is low. A 1-1. Guthrie gets the call on the corner there. Count goes a 1-2. Here's a shot right back up the middle. Base hit for Gearhart. So the leadoff man is on for North Georgia. North Georgia Gearhart, I did mention, was hitting .316 on the year. That was hit number 73 on the season for him. He is 4 for 7 in stolen bases this year. North Georgia is really not much of a running team. 36 steals overall as a squad. Michael Gouge actually leads the team. He's got nearly a third of those by himself with 11. Connor Hoover steps in there. Hoover was a 2015, I believe, Peach Belt Conference Freshman of the Year. And an all-conference performer. Second team this year at shortstop. And he looks at ball 1. Hoover hitting .361 on the season. 17 home runs and 70 RBIs. He was actually tied with Benson at the end of the regular season in RBIs to lead the conference and top 5 in the nation. So Hoover, a very dangerous hitter. Bats from the left but throws from the right. And a favorable matchup as he faces the right-hander Guthrie. One and 1 the count. Nobody out. Next pitch high and outside. Ball 2. Pretty good crowd on hand for this game. Glad to see the folks making their way from Dahlonega, Georgia, and from Milledgeville, Georgia, out here into South Carolina. Speaking on behalf of the Peach Belt, as Hoover fouls off the next pitch, I want to thank the staff here at Francis Marion University for the wonderful job they've done hosting this tournament for the second year in a row. FMU in this gorgeous stadium. Cornmeal Field in Sparrow Stadium. Part of their athletic complex that was built in 2012, I do believe. Next pitch also fouled back, so Hoover staying alive, which has really kind of been the theme for North Georgia since dropping that game to Pembroke last night. Runner at first is Gearhart. Okay, they throw back over for the first time. Just as I was about to say, they have paid no attention to him whatsoever. It's interesting to talk about these two teams in terms of NCAA regional possibilities. In the last poll that came out on Wednesday, Georgia College was 9th in the region poll. North Georgia was 2nd. Mount Olive is on top of the poll, and their season is complete. They won the Conference Carolinas tournament, and they're all but assured to be hosting the regional next week in North Carolina. North Georgia, I think, is actually a pretty solid number 2. Despite their loss, they also have a couple of wins here in this tournament. And there's a chopper. It's going to go right through the right side. And going all the way around to third is going to be Gearhart. Hoover will stop at first, so back-to-back base hits to start the game for North Georgia. So runners at the corners, nobody out. And that's going to bring to the plate Michael Gouge. Gouge, the senior, hitting .399 on the season, 10 home runs, 57 RBIs, a .674 slugging percentage. He's got some speed too. 66 hits with 19 doubles. So, not the guy you want to see if you're rooting for Georgia College here. Batting third in the lineup today for the Nighthawks. Gouge. It takes his first pitch low and outside. Next pitch is way high. Ball 2. And as I was wondering about Gabe Moore starting for North Georgia and how quick the hook would be, now I'm going to start wondering that about Trevor Guthrie for Georgia College. The Bobcats do not want to have to play North Georgia again tomorrow and then go play in the championship game if that's the way it has to play out. They'd much rather take care of business here tonight and just have the maximum one game to win it all tomorrow. Because North Georgia is number 1 for a reason. Ranked number 2 in the nation. It's kind of odd. The top 2 teams in the national poll are the top 2 teams in our region, with Mount Olive 1 and North Georgia 2. Just tells you how good baseball is where we are, in particular in the Peach Belt. And throw down to first, not in time, after the swing and a miss by Gouge. Close play. The Georgia College catcher Purcell thought he saw Hoover leaning. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big strikeout that time for Guthrie. That'll bring up to the plate the first baseman, Trevor Sands, another senior, hitting .314 on the year, 12 home runs and 66 RBIs. Both of those numbers are second best on the team. .567 slugging percentage. 11 doubles among his 61 hits this year. And he's got the opportunity to do some damage right here. Runners on the corners, one out, ball in the dirt, ball one. Nice look there from our vantage point here at Cormel Field under the lights. Actually, the lights have been on all day. It's been a very cool and overcast day here as opposed to the broiler that we've been in the first 2 days here at the tournament. Blasting sunshine and no sun today, but we've also had no rain, knock wood. I don't have any wood, I hit my head. So, and I think the North Georgia faithful thought that was going to be a balk as Guthrie changed his mind at the last second, but home plate umpire today, T.R. Sloan, says no. And the 1-0 is on the way. And that's low, 2-0. Throw back over to first, keeping an eye on the runner. Hoover stands on first. Gearhart's at third for the Nighthawks. The 2-0. Just misses on the outside corner. 3-0. Guthrie already thrown 19 pitches here in this first inning. That one catches that corner. Strike one. The 3-1 on the way. Nope, never mind. Again, back to first. And that one called strike two, so that'll run the count full, 3-2. Here's an interesting little note. This is the first time these two teams have met this season. In the Peach Belt Conference, we had 13 baseball teams, but due to the number of weekends available during the calendar year, we can only play 11 conference series. No, that's not right. We played 8 conference series. So here's a chopper to left, gloved there by the shortstop, but not in time. It was a tough play for Benson. He did a great job actually just getting a glove on it, running away from home plate. Tried to turn it back to Green, covering the bag at second, but couldn't get it done in time. A run does score as Gearhart crosses the plate. That's going to go down as a base hit for Sam's, third hit of the inning for the Nighthawks. And Connor Hoover will stand up at second. And a little meeting at the mound for the Georgia College defense. As I was saying, in the Peach Belt Conference, there are 8 conference series, so 24 conference games. So for every team, there are going to be 3 league opponents that you don't play during the regular season. And just so happens that Georgia College and North Georgia did not have a regular season series. So this is very interesting that they're seeing each other for the first time here in what is essentially the semifinal round of the Peach Belt tournament. So still just one out here. One run is already in for North Georgia. And that'll bring up Bill Leroy, the designated hitter. And again, Guthrie is just taking lots and lots of time in between pitches here. And I have a feeling I might really be working against him right now. When you're pitching, you can get into a rhythm and be very efficient and effective. And right now, Guthrie has been none of those things as he has given up 3 singles, wrapped around a strikeout for the only out of the inning. First pitch to the plate is inside for ball 1. Guthrie's last start came against Auburn Montgomery in a non-conference game. He pitched 7 innings there. Gave up 12 hits, but only 2 earned runs. Prior to that, he started against Georgia's Southwestern in game 3 of that series. He only pitched 3 2/3. Here's a shot to left center. That's going to drop in for a base hit. 1 run is going to score. So 4 hits here in the bottom of the first for North Georgia. Hoover crosses the plate and an RBI single for Bill Leroy. Sam stops at second. So the train is rolling for the Nighthawks here, as they are jumping on Guthrie early and often. Again, last time Guthrie pitched in a conference game against Southwestern, he went 3 2/3, gave up 4 earned runs on 8 hits with a walk and 3 strikeouts. So there's no activity as of yet in the Georgia College bullpen. And that's going to bring to the plate Connor Corbett, the right fielder. The sophomore hitting .309 on the season, 8 homers and 37 RBI. He is the 6th Nighthawk to bat here in the first. 2 runs already in. Runners at first and second with 1 out. There you get a nice look at Trevor Sams at second, as he courteously moves out of the way so we can see. The 1-1. That one's high. Two-one. Again, missing inside. Count goes to 3-1. This is the hitter's count, so Corbett, I'm sure, is going to have the green light as GC catcher Brandon Purcell is going to go out and have a word with his pitcher. See if they can't get on the same page here. Maybe to calm him down, get him to locate. He's had trouble finding the plate, and when he has, there's been a big bat there. Again, 4 hits here, all singles. Here's a chopper to short, might be 2. 6, 4, 3, they got it, turn the double play. And that's just what the Bobcats needed there. As that one eats up Leroy running from first. So after a rough start, the damage minimal as North Georgia plates 2 on 4 hits. We head to the top of the second, 2-0 Nighthawks. To the top of the second inning we go. Nighthawks put up 2 in the bottom of the first. Georgia College is going to try to answer. And they'll start with Clayton Ayers. Ayers, a senior, hitting .316 on the year. 2 homer, 37 RBI. And he looks at ball 1. From North Georgia pitcher, Gabe Moore. Next pitch also misses, so Ayers quickly ahead, 2-0. Next pitch catches the corner. Moving the count to 2-1. Next pitch way high. And ball 4, so a walk. To Clayton Ayers to start this second inning. He's the third base runner for Georgia College so far in the game. That's going to bring to the plate Nate Schmall, the junior left fielder. Schmall hitting .339 on the season, 4 home runs, 35 runs driven in. And he takes ball 1. So Moore up to 25 pitches right now. 26, 15 of those have been balls. Big cut that time, coming up empty. As Ayers faked the steal out at first. Ayers 4 steals in 6 attempts. Keeping an eye on him over there. The 1-1 on the way to Schmall, fouls it back. Philip Stiles on deck for Georgia College. The 1-2. In there, called. Strike 3 on the inside corner. So big strikeout there for Gabe Moore with a runner on, and Stiles now steps in to the plate for the Bobcats. Philip Stiles, the senior designated hitter, hitting .475. Yeah, you heard that right. .475. Not as many at-bats as the rest of the lineup, only 59 at-bats. This will be start number 26 for him on the season. 2 home runs and 17 RBIs. Also has 4 doubles on the year, a .644 slugging percentage. One thing about the Georgia College lineup is it does not give you any breaks whatsoever. The lowest batting average on the team in the starting lineup tonight is .304. With 5 guys hitting .380 or better. As we've been talking here around the press box, there's some who believe, and I can't argue with them, that it might be the best offensive unit we've ever seen. Hitting .363 as a team is hard to argue with that. The North Georgia first baseman Trevor Sams comes to talk to Moore for a second. 2-1 is the count. Runner at first, 1 out. Here we are in the top of the second, as you can see on our score bot right there on the screen. And quite honestly, this game has been glacially slow to get going. Next pitch foul back to the screen. I just tell it like it is. We started at 8:30. It's 9:10. We've 40 minutes we've been here, and we're not even through an inning and a half. So I hope everybody at home is nice and comfy, because I think we're going to be here for a while. Again, we had a 4-hour game in this time slot last night that didn't get over till 2 o'clock in the morning. Don't know my voice can do that, but we're going to give it a go. Fly to center. Coming in to get it is Logan Maddox. He makes the catch. And there are 2 away now. That'll bring up Garrett Green, the sophomore. Second baseman, hitting .304 on the year. No homers, but 35 runs driven in. He's got 8 doubles on the year. Green fouls one back right over our heads. So 0-1 to Green. Ayers stands on first. And they take a quick look back over to him, keeping him close. So Moore is on the verge of getting out of this inning. He's 0-2 ahead with 2 outs to Garrett Green. That was a ball. Steal. The ball goes into the outfield, but Ayers is going to stay put at second with the stolen base. Perez had to hesitate because the pitch was high, as he tried to get the ball out of his glove to try and get it over to second. And in doing so, he aired it out into center field. So Green now with a runner in scoring position. And 2 outs, 1-2 the count. And they're going to think about it some more. The 1-2. That one put into the air out to right. Coming in is the right fielder Womack. He'll make the catch, and that will end the inning. So after 1.5, North Georgia remains on top 2-0. To the bottom of the second we go. Nighthawks going to try and build on their 2-0 lead. And there's a chopper over to second. Green has it, gets it over to Ayers at first to retire Stephen Tomlinson before I even have a chance to talk about him. So one away here, bottom of the second. That's going to bring up the sophomore Cal Dempsey. Dempsey hitting .300 on the year, 1 homer, 12 RBI. So Guthrie finding the groove here. 2 quick strikes as he faces off against Dempsey. Next pitch fouled off the end of the bat. The 0-2. That's high, 1-2. That's fouled off, out of play to the right. As the pitch count for Guthrie getting a little up there. 35 pitches. 22 of those for strikes so far here in the second inning. Here's a shot on the ground over to short, gathered up there by Green, over to Ayers in time. So back-to-back ground outs to second to start the second inning for North Georgia. And that'll bring up the catcher, Andres Perez, a freshman, hitting .241 on the season. He's got 5 home runs and 27 RBI. He stands in there now, 2 outs, and the base is empty. And he fouls off his first pitch over towards the field house. The 0-1 to Perez. And again, fouls it off to the right. Just a bit behind on these pitches. Perez, his father is Eddie Perez, former Atlanta Braves catcher and the current head coach, assistant coach for the Braves. Don't know if the Braves are in action tonight. I would imagine they are somewhere. Probably on the field right at this moment. But I know if they weren't, Dad Eddie would be watching us here on YouTube, if not here in person himself. This one is sent out to right field, but is hit right at Wesley Womack, and he's going to snag it out of the air for the third out. So 1-2-3, down go the Nighthawks in the second. We head to the top of the third, 2-0 UNG. To the top of the third inning, we go Georgia College. Being held in check so far by North Georgia starter Gabe Moore. As we go back to the top of the order for Georgia College and Cal Gentry. Stepping in, Gentry 0 for 1 on the day. Flew out to center and gets a piece of that next one. Fouls it back. Count even at 1-1. Next pitch misses low and inside. Count moves to 2-1. Not a whole lot to talk about for Georgia College so far. Gentry, though, ahead in the count now, 3-1. As Moore gets ready to deliver pitch number 43. That one chopped right back up the middle. That'll score through for a base hit. First hit of the day for Georgia College. And it comes here in the top of the third. I know. I wasn't going to say anything because you're not supposed to say anything like that, especially after only 2 innings of work. When you're talking about Georgia College, though, being held hitless for a little while, that's news. But you got to adhere to the traditions of baseball. And I'll talk about a no-hitter. I'd be stupid to talk about it anyway in the second inning. But the first hit anyway for Gentry and any Bobcat, and that'll bring up Brandon Benson. Benson doesn't have a at-bat yet. He walked in his first plate appearance, and he takes strike one from Moore. Moore ahead in the count, 0-1 delivers. One bounces in the dirt. Good job that time by by Perez of keeping it in front of him. Next pitch misses. 2-1. Big strike that time as Benson was reaching for the fences, looking over at Gentry. 7 steals in 10 attempts, so some speed on the base paths for Georgia College right now. But with nobody out, and Brandon Benson at the plate, excuse me. And it's early in the game, so I don't think Coach Jason Eller is going to roll the dice right now. But we'll see. He's in the hole. They need to put some runners in scoring position. They had 1 runner reach second back in the first inning, but nothing since then. Moore delivers. Benson drills it into right center. That one might reach the wall in the gap out there. Rounding third is Gentry. He's going to come on home. Benson's going to try and leg it out for 3. A stand-up triple for Brandon Benson. So Brandon Benson comes through with the RBI triple to score Gentry. And Georgia College is on the boards, 2-1. Benson did a good job. He kind of took that one to the opposite field The North Georgia outfield was playing him to pull, so they were shaded over to the left, but he drove it to the gap in right center, where it just rolled and rolled and rolled until Tomlinson and Corbett could converge and pick it up. But by that time, Benson was on his way to third and strolled in there with a triple. For Benson and all his prowess, that's his third triple of the season. That is the most now on the team. Wow. 3 triples leads the team. Next batter up is going to be Logan Maddox. Maddox flew out to right in his first at bat. And he is ahead in the count now, 2-1. Benson stands at third. Nobody out here. Next pitch, driven to the outfield. Tomlinson's there. That should be deep enough. Benson tags at third, and he is going to score. And we are all tied up on the sac fly from Logan Maddox. So Georgia College strikes quickly here in the top of the third. 2 runs on 2 hits. And 1 out as Wesley Womack's going to come up. Womack was hit by a pitch in his first at bat, but stranded at first. Great glove work at second base, and they got him in time. Nice job that time by Devin Gearhart, digging that out and getting it over to Trevor Sams to retire Wesley Womack. That's going to bring to the plate the catcher, Brandon Purcell. Purcell 0 for 1 on the day, ground out to the pitcher in his first at bat. And takes ball 1 from Gabe Moore. Next pitch also misses just inside. 1-1. Wind picking up here a little bit at Cornell Field. Blowing out to right as it has all day. There have been reports of a little mist in the air outside. Another pitch fouled away. Count remains 2-2. 2 runs already across for Georgia College here in this half inning. Base is empty, though, for Brandon Purcell. So count moves full, 3-2 to Purcell. Called strike 3. And I don't think there's much arguing with that one, as that one was right down the pike. But after 2.5, we are all knotted up to a piece. So to the bottom of the third inning we go. All tied up at 2-2 after the Bobcats push across 2 in the bottom half of the, top of the third. Now to the bottom of the third. North Georgia going to try and respond as Devin Gearhart steps in there. Gearhart led off with a single. He later scored on Trevor Sam's RBI single back in the first. The first of 4 singles for the Nighthawks in that first inning. Gearhart quickly ahead 2-0. Now make it 3-0. And here's a shot over to short. Big gun that time by Brandon Benson. Benson was deep in the hole there. But man, he came out firing and delivered a laser beam over to Ayers at first base to retire Gearhart 6-3. And that's going to bring to the plate Connor Hoover. Hoover 1 for 1 on the day. He singled in his first at bat in the first inning. And he fouls off the first pitch, 0-1. Next pitch on the way, down in the dirt. That'll even the count at 1-1. Nothing worse than a copycat, Mr. Hawkins. Where do you think he got the idea? That's what it is. Sorry about that, folks. Little press box intrigue happening here. 2-1 the count. As the wind is really coming in now, at least into us here in the press box. Cool, too. It's got to be dipping into the 60s right about now, I would imagine. 3-1 the count. 1 out, bases empty. And ball 4. So Hoover's on base for the second time in as many plate appearances. So 1 out, runner on for Michael Gouge. Gouge struck out swinging in his first at bat. So far, the only strikeout of the day for Guthrie, the Georgia College starter. And first pitch, nice breaking pitch there. Came in across the knees, strike 1. The 0-1. That one driven into center field. On his horse to get it is Maddox. Not going to get there. It's going to roll to the wall. Extra bases on the way for Gouge. Rounding third is Hoover. He's going to come all the way home and score. And North Georgia goes back on top. RBI double for Michael Gouge. 3-2 Nighthawks. So that one came off the bat and was immediately starting to tail to the right. The outfield again had shaded Gouge as a pull hitter. So they were shaded to the left, and that left that huge gap out there in right center. Same gap that Brandon Benson exploited for Georgia College with his triple in the last half inning. Maddox, though, was able to get over there and get it back into the field of play to stop Gouge at second. Nevertheless, he is in scoring position for Trevor Sams. Sams had an RBI single in his first at-bat and has the opportunity to do so again. The 1-0 on the way to Sams. Again, that breaking pitch coming in right across the top of the knees and going down. So far, the Nighthawks have been laying off of it to their detriment. 1-1. Next pitch, chin high. 2-1. So Gouge stands on second, run already in, as the Nighthawks retake the lead. They had opened up a 2-0 lead. Georgia College tied them up in the top of the third. Now here in the bottom of the third, North Georgia goes back on top. Next pitch is low and outside. Ball 3. And still no activity in either bullpen. The 3-1 misses outside, ball 4. So Sams reaches base for the second time. And that's going to bring up Bill Leroy. Leroy had an RBI single in his first at-bat, and we're going to get a visit to the mound. I can't tell if that's Coach Eller or not wearing number 9. It is. Okay. So, Jason Eller. Sometimes hard to forget this is his second season, I believe. No, first season at Georgia College. He made the move. He was at Augusta University for a couple of years and then made the move over to Milledgeville. He was an assistant coach at the University of Georgia before he got the job at Augusta. And in 1 year with the Bobcats, kind of a dramatic improvement to the hitting there, you could say. And says what he had to say. I know it's Coach Eller because of the white shoes. He always wears the white shoes. Georgia College started this game with a 33-13 overall record. A little puzzling as to why they were ranked so low in the regional poll. I guess it has to be who those 13 losses came to, and quite honestly, some of the strength of schedule that they had during the regular season might not have been the best in the world. But for a team like Georgia College, it can be tough to pick up non-conference games sometimes, and so all you're left with is the Albany States and Fort Valleys of the world to play. They were 16-8 in Peach Belt Conference action, the third seed in this tournament. But they are down to North Georgia right now with trouble looming as runners are on first and second with 1 out here. And Bill Leroy at the plate. Leroy, as I mentioned, 1 for 1, had an RBI single in the first. That drove in the second run of that inning. The 1-1 on the way to Leroy. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Michael Gouge stands on second. Trevor Sams is on first. Here's a chopper up the middle. Benson's going to get it, flips it over to Green at second, on to first, not in time. They tried to turn 2 there. Instead, it's Sams who's going to be out at second, 6-4. That's a second out of the inning, and Leroy will reach on the fielder's choice. Gouge makes the move over to third. So that keeps the inning alive thanks to the speed of Leroy getting down the line in a hurry to beat out the double play. And Connor Corbett comes to bat now. Speaking of double plays, Corbett ended the first inning with a 6-4-3 double play. And you know that has a stick in the craw just a little bit. He's probably going to try and atone for that one right here. Runners at the corners with 2 out, 1 run already in for the Nighthawks. And that pitch in there, strike 1. The 0-1 on the way. That one driven through the hole on the right side into the outfield. 1 run is going to score. So an RBI single for Connor Corbett. Gouge crosses the plate. The Royal move up to second. And it's 4-2, North Georgia. And Steven Tomlinson steps in now, as there is a little bit of activity down in that Georgia College bullpen. Mainly just guys kind of standing up and walking around. Now we get some light tossing. So some loosening up happening down there. And a pitch on the way to Tomlinson's in there for a called strike. The North Georgia faithful voicing their displeasure at the call. They thought it was a little bit low. She was the basketball player. Here's a shot over to second, gathered up there by Green. He bobbles it, picks it up, gets it to first in time. And that will retire the side. So Tomlinson is set down for the second straight time, but a ground out to second. That will end the inning. But the Nighthawks strike again. 2 more runs. It is now 4-2 heading to the top of the 4th. To the top of the 4th inning we go. 4-2, North Georgia on top. And stepping to the plate for Georgia College will be Clayton Ayers. Ayers drew a walk in his first plate appearance and also stole a base. And he's going to try and get something started here for the Bobcats. Fouls it up and back out of play. Getting a good look at Sparrow Stadium, Cornell Field, here at Francis Marion. Game 12 of the tournament over the last 3 days. Pitch is high. Ball 1. The 1-2 on the way. That one lifted into the air out towards center field. Logan Maddox underneath it makes the catch. Excuse me, wrong team. Stephen Tomlinson out there in center field for North Georgia. They've got to turn the book over between innings. I knew that. That'll bring up Nate Schmall, the left fielder. He struck out looking in his first at bat. And comes up now with one away here in the top of the fourth. First pitch fouled back, strike one. Next pitch is high, evens the count at 1-1. Lays down a bunt, picked up by the pitcher Moore over to first in time. So great glove work by the pitchers. Moore had to come off of the mound and get that one. Got it over to the bag in time. Sams did a great job of stretching for it for the 1-3 put out. 2 away here. And quite honestly, after the way Georgia College had played their first 2 games of this tournament, it's a bit of a surprise to see them being held in check like this so far. As Philip Stiles comes to the plate for the Bobcats. Stiles 0 for 1. He flew out to center in his first at bat. Moore up to 70 pitches now for North Georgia. Strike one. 71 pitches, 38 of those for strikes. It's a little less than half. No, more than half. What am I talking about? The next pitch, he tried to check his swing, but the ball hit his bat anyway and fouled back to the screen. So now it's 0-2. Next pitch gets away from Moore a little bit, up and in. The ball 1. This one driven into center field. Tomlinson on his horse, but gets there in time and retires Stiles. So down go the Bobcats, 1, 2, 3. And boy, I don't think that's happened to Georgia College this entire tournament so far. They are held in check. We go to the bottom of the fourth, 4-2, Nighthawks. to the bottom of the fourth. And North Georgia holding on to a 4-2 lead. They're going to try and build on it right here. Cal Dempsey coming to the plate for the Nighthawks. Dempsey ground out to second in his first at-bat. The line score so far for these two teams: Georgia College, 2 runs on 2 hits, no errors. North Georgia, 4 runs on 5 hits, also no errors. Dempsey, Perez, and Gearhart due up. And here's a shot into the air. It's going to drift back behind second base. Green going back, and he nabs it there for the first out. Call that one P4. And that'll bring up Andres Perez. Perez flew out to left to end the second inning. And here's a shot up the middle, gloved by Benson. He gets it over to first in time. Brandon Benson is putting on a clinic at second base for Georgia College. The Peach Belt Conference Player of the Year. Gets most of his notoriety from his offense, but it's his defense that has come to the forefront tonight. And his offense, he had an RBI triple. So the complete game in progress for Brandon Benson as he gets that out. And quickly there are 2 away for North Georgia here. Back to the top of the order we go, and Devin Gearhart. Gearhart 1 for 2 on the day. Singled and scored in the first inning. Ground out to short in the third. First pitch to him, catches that outside corner. Strike 1. And I think we're going to put our good friend Michael Hawkins to the test here for a little while, as I have got to step away from the microphone to do a little bit of business. But Mr. Hawkins, here we go. 1-1 with 2 outs here.
Gearhart is at the plate. Count goes to 2-1. Inside corner evens the count now at 2-2. We are in the bottom of the 4th inning. The North Georgia Nighthawks lead Georgia College 4-2. North Georgia needs to come up with a win today to force an if necessary game tomorrow. Ground ball into right field, base hit for Gearhart. Nighthawks have a runner on first now with 2 down. That'll bring the shortstop, Connor Hoover, up to the plate. Hoover 1 for 1. A single in the first, came around to score. Walked in the third, also came around to score. His average now up to .364 this season. Ball's hit into right field past the second baseman for a base hit. Nighthawks will have runners on first and third now with 2 down. Second baseman Green that time was shifted way around to the right side out on the grass, and the ball was hit a little bit more up the middle, and his dive was unsuccessful in coming up with the ball. Michael Gouge now at the plate, the 3-hitter for the Nighthawks. He's 1 for 1, RBI single in the first, walked in the third. The Nighthawks now with 7 hits as we bat here in the bottom of the 4th. Flagler College's win over UNC Pembroke has already forced one if necessary game tomorrow, as those two teams will meet again with the winner going home and the winner advancing to the championship game and the loser going home. Swung on and hit into right center field. Maddox is over, gloves it for the 3rd out. And so the Nighthawks pick up a couple of base hits there with 2 outs, but no damage done against the Bobcats. So after 4 innings complete, the Nighthawks lead 4-2. Garrett Green will lead off for the Bobcats here in the top of the 5th inning. This is game 12 of the 2017 Peach Belt Conference Baseball Tournament at Cornell Field at Sparrow Stadium here on the campus of Francis Marion University in Florence, South Carolina. Green over 1, a fly out to right field in the 2nd inning. Situation here, Georgia College is undefeated in the tournament. The top seeded and 2nd nationally ranked Nighthawks have 1 loss. They're playing for their tournament lives. A Georgia College win would push the Bobcats into the championship game tomorrow. But a win by North Georgia would force that if necessary game sometime tomorrow. Gabe Moore now up to 77 pitches, 41 of which have found the strike zone or been put in play. But he falls behind Green 3-1. Green batting .303 on the season. The lowest average in the starting lineup for the Bobcats, a lineup that leads the nation in all 3 divisions in hitting. The comebacker is speared by Moore, and he throws Green out at first base. That was more self-defense by Moore than anything else. Flips the lineup back to the top for Cal Gentry. Gentry 1 for 2. Single and scored in the 3rd inning. Ground ball to short. Hoover the throw to first. And quickly 2 down here in the top of the 5th. Shortstop Brandon Benson will step in. Benson walked in the first, tripled in a run in the third inning, and then scored on the sacrifice fly by Maddox. His season average now just a shade under 400 at 397. 22 home runs, 73 RBIs. Quickly Moore out in front, 0-2. And that'll be strike three as the first base umpire, Lindy Hall, ruled that Benson did go around. North Georgia head coach Tom Cantrell got to be happy with 5 quality innings from a starter named Gabe Moore, who'd only pitched 22 innings all season. As we head to the bottom of the 5th, North Georgia leads Georgia College 4-2 here on the Peach Belt Conference Sports Network.
And welcome back to the Peach Belt Tournament. Ken Gerlinger back with you. Special thanks to Michael Hawkins for filling in while I was called away on some conference business, and I will tell you what that business was, and everybody here in the booth with me at the same time in just a second. As soon as I set the stage for what's happening here, we are in the bottom of the 5th inning. It is still 4-2, North Georgia on top. And the pitch to Trevor Sams. It is fouled off. Anyway, what we were talking about is we had an original plan for our game times for tomorrow, but looking at some of the weather forecasts and taking into some other things into consideration, we have changed our previously talked about game times. We will start play tomorrow with Flagler and Pembroke at 10 a.m. right here. And then whatever the second game is, whether it is another North Georgia College game or the championship game, will commence at 1:30. So that is the plan. As we just got off the phone with the Peach Belt commissioner. As Sams draws a walk. So for all of you listening, if this score holds up, then the plan will be, we know that Flagler and Pembroke are going to play at 10 a.m. If there is an if necessary game between these two teams, that'll follow at 1:30, and then the championship game will follow 30 minutes after the conclusion of that contest. So no matter how many games we're going to play, we're going to start it at 10 a.m. and the train's going to leave the station, and we're going to roll it like we have for the entire tournament. So make your plans accordingly, and I will update the Peachville Conference Tournament website and bracket with that information as soon as I possibly can. Following the conclusion of this game, I might try to do a little bit during the game. I don't know if I'm quite as multi-talented as Mr. Hawkins is, though, as he announced and is scoring at the same time. So I'll try and update the website and announce at the same time, and probably do neither of them very well. 0-1 is the count. Next pitch is in the dirt. Yeah, that would be the real test. Do all three at the same time. Score, update the site, and do broadcasting. Bill Leroy is in there. He is 1 for 2 on the day and an RBI single back in the first, reaching on a fielder's choice in the third. He's got a runner at first right now and a 1-1 count. Nobody out in the bottom of the fifth. And he drills one to right, but it's going to tail out of play, bouncing off the pavilion out there. Moving the count to 1-2. Next pitch misses high. That is ball two. However, keep in mind, all this stuff I just told you is contingent on the weather. There is a forecast for some rain tomorrow. The best way to keep track of the latest news and developments is through the Peach Belt Twitter feed. At Peach Belt, we will be updating that tomorrow morning if there are any further changes. Next pitch. The inside, making Leroy jump out of the way. Count now goes to 3-2. So a full count, runner at first. Runner goes. Here's a shot to left. Carrying well. Going to get it is Schmall. He's not going to. It bounces off the wall. It'll be at least two. Sams is going to turn the corner and score on the RBI double from Bill Leroy. So Leroy collects his second RBI of the day on his second hit of the day, and it's a 5-3 Nighthawk lead. And that'll bring to the plate the right fielder Connor Corbett. Corbett grounded to a 6-4-3 double play in his first at bat, but had an RBI single in the third inning. Part of the Nighthawks' 2-run output in that frame. And he's got a runner at second with nobody out. So the Nighthawks really showing a lot of grit and moxie, to use a couple of very old terms, as they have come here to play tonight despite finishing a game up to 2 in the morning last night, playing a full 9-inning game earlier today, and now coming out and facing the best hitting team in the country. Big cut that time by Corbett. Comes up empty, fooled on the off-speed pitch. 0-1. Lots of activity in the Georgia College bullpen, as you might expect. We'll try to get a number for you here in just a minute. The 0-1 on the way. That's in there, call strike 2. Yeah. Georgia College sprouting the green pinstripes on gray, which is a snazzy looking uniform, but the number is a little bit tough to read down in the bullpen from here at night especially. So we're probably not going to be able to tell you exactly who is warming up down there, but if anybody knows who the submarine pitcher is for the Bobcats, that's who's warming up down there. Oh-2 is the count to Corbett. Chopper to third, gathered up there by Gouge, across the diamond in time at first base to Sams. Leroy had to hold at second, so a 5-3 ground out for Corbett. That's the first out here in the bottom of the 5th. And that'll bring up Stephen Tomlinson, the center fielder. Tomlinson 0 for 2 on the day. He's got a pair of ground outs to second. There you see Bill Leroy standing around second base. First pitch is low. Good job by Purcell keeping that in front of him. With the one out, you don't want that runner to reach third, where he could be brought home on a sac fly. Next pitch is also low. So Guthrie trying to hang those curves up over the knees, but he's missing low and falling behind in the count. 93 pitches thrown by Guthrie here in the bottom of the 5th. I cannot imagine he can go too much longer, no matter how effective he is with this pitch count. And here's a chopper, be picked up by the third baseman Gentry over to first in time. Now they're 2 away. That'll bring up Cal Dempsey. Dempsey 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out to second and popped up to second. Dempsey with 12 RBI on the season, hitting 300. Has the opportunity to add to that total with a runner at second. 2 out. And he takes strike 1. Dempsey, a sophomore from Warner Robins, Georgia, just outside of Macon. Went to Veterans High School there. And he takes a strike on the outside corner. Now 0-2. I think if Georgia College can get out of this inning with just the 1 run allowed, they'd take it at this point with that runner on second. And he was there with 2 out. 1 run is already across here in this half inning. The 0-2. That one's fouled off to the right side. In case you're wondering why the grass behind the plate is a different shade of color than the grass in the rest of the field, it's because that's not grass. That is an artificial turf patch that was just installed for this season by Francis Marion. Cuts down on the wear and tear around the home plate area. So that's the only piece of artificial turf here. The rest of the playing surface is natural grass. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. So Dempsey goes down. So a nice bit of recovery that time by Trevor Guthrie, as after giving up the run on the RBI double, he comes back and gets 3 straight outs to retire the side. We head to the top of the 6th inning. It is 5-2 North Georgia. To the 6th inning we go. And I think everybody here in the stadium and probably a lot of people watching our broadcast tonight are waiting for that big inning from Georgia College. We all know they're capable of it, but so far it has not happened. It is 5-2. North Georgia is on top and in control behind the pitching of Gabe Moore. And here is a base hit, though, right up the middle, as Logan Maddox will start this inning with a single. That is his first hit of the day. Maddox does have an RBI on a sac fly back in the 3rd. So Moore, as the next pitch, the first pitch I should say to Wesley Womack is fouled back out of play. Moore comes back for the 6th inning, his 6th inning of work, and that is his longest outing of the season. His previous long outing was 5 innings of work against Anderson. That came back on March the 8th. So, as Michael pointed out a little while ago, that Coach Tom Cantrell is certainly loving the fact that he's going to his number 4 or 5 guy and a midweek starter and getting such good productivity out of him, especially considering the caliber of offense that he's facing. And another added benefit is it saves the bullpen for possible games tomorrow. Again, there could be 2 games in the future for both of these teams should the Nighthawks hold on to win this one. But we still have a long way to go. We're only at the top of the 6th. Runner at first, nobody out. The 0-2 pitch coming to Wesley Womack. And he takes it high and outside, ball 1. Moore is pitching for the first time since April the 25th. So that's about an 18-day layoff between outings for him. Again, he's been a midweek guy. He saw some action against Pembroke in relief. But that has been the only conference opponent he has faced. Fly ball to left. It's going to be taken by the shortstop, Connor Hoover, for the first out. That'll bring to the plate Brandon Purcell. The catcher 0 for 2 on the day, struck out looking in his last at bat. One out, one on, as the first pitch to Purcell is in the dirt. Georgia College really playing for their postseason lives. As I mentioned earlier, they were the 9th ranked team in the poll for the NCAA regional that came out on Wednesday. Only 7 teams get to go to the NCAA tournament from the Southeast region. The Bobcats have certainly improved their resume this week with wins in their first 2 games against Aiken and Flagler. But will that be enough to jump them up several spots should they not get the automatic bid? That's a tall order. Those committees who choose NCAA tournament fields are told that the last game of the season counts just as much as the first game of the season. You take in the entire body of work, and you're not supposed to put extra weight on tournament games, conference tournament games. So now, of course, it still happens, and we've all seen it before in the past, those of us who've been around for a while. But will it be enough? Don't know. Georgia College doesn't want to find out. They want that automatic bid. And they can take a giant step in that direction with a win here tonight. So they're going to pull out all the stops and try and come back from this 3-run deficit that they're in right now. 3-1 is the count to Purcell. Logan Maddox is at first. I don't even think they looked at it. Maddox goes. It was a hit and run. So a bit of an aggressive play call there by Coach Jason Eller. She's trying to make something happen. Logan Maddox runs again. Purcell, another hit and run. This one flew out as in the air, but again, foul. So I think another hit and run has been called right there. And if you're poor Logan Maddox, you're going to get winded running back and forth between first and second. 1 out here in the inning. So Maddox is not running on the pitch. And I thought that's what might happen, is they're going to finally throw back over and try to keep it close. I expected either that or maybe even a pitch out. Well, you can't do a pitch out with a 3-2 count. Never mind. But if that hit and run is on, try and pick him off. But Maddox was able to get back to the bag. And again, Maddox beats that one easily. Maddox does have 6 steals in 8 attempts on the season. Maddox runs again, pitches high, ball 4. So there was an extra benefit to all of that motion on the base paths and that it distracted more, I think. It might have drawn that walk. So runners at first and second now with one out for Clayton Ayers. Ayers 0 for 1 on the day. He walked and stole a base in the second, flew out to center in the fourth. And I actually do not see anybody. There are people down in the North Georgia bullpen, and they're just doing some light tossing right now. But Gabe Moore is carrying the torch for the Nighthawks right now and doing a good job of it. Only 3 hits allowed to the best hitting team in the country in all 3 NCAA divisions. Georgia College leading the nation in hitting and runs scored per 9 innings, among several other things. So Georgia College, excuse me. I think my tongue is getting a little tired too. Georgia College threatening. Runners are first and second with one out. In the top of the 6th. And now the coach is going to take a jaunt out to the mound. So another little delay. Okay. Wow, look at the camera work there. Warming up for North Georgia in the bullpen is number 4, Josh Bryan, the senior righty from Lawrenceville, Georgia. And I guarantee he's there just in case. Crowd starting to make some noise, trying to get a little energy back into this place. The game kind of hit the skids here for a moment, but this is actually a pretty big moment for Georgia College especially. Well, for both teams, obviously. First pitch on the way to Ayers. Misses for ball 1. Clayton Ayers, a senior from Kennewick, Washington. Transferred to Georgia College from Walla Walla Community College. How about that? Hopefully there's some folks in Washington watching along with us here. Ayers took a big cut at that one and missed. Count moves to 1-1. Big moments. Everybody just kind of takes a breath. Moore comes set. Here's a drive out to center field. That's going to drop for a base hit. They're going to send the runner Maddox from second. He's going to score. RBI single for Clayton Ayers. Maddox was on his horse and came all the way around from first. Actually, he was at second, excuse me, after the walk to Purcell. So he came around from second. No hesitation on the part of the Georgia College coaching staff sending him around. It was a sharp line drive to center field, and I do believe that the North Georgia center fielder Tomlinson may have had a shot at a play at the plate if the throw had been on line, but it wasn't. And the run comes in. And it is a 2-run game, 5-3 now. So now we're going to have a pitching change. So we're going to step away for a minute, and we'll be back and tell you about our new North Georgia pitcher in just a moment. Our new pitcher for North Georgia is number 4, Josh Bryan, a senior righty out of Lawrenceville, Georgia, a second-team all-conference performer right now. He replaces Gabe Moore, who had a heck of an outing, his longest of the season for North Georgia. So Bryan comes in. Take a quick look at his numbers. Bryan making his 15th appearance. He's 4-0 on the season. 25 in the third innings pitched, a 1.42 ERA. Only 4 earned runs allowed. 10 walks, 14 strikeouts. Batters only hitting .228 against him. So that's a nice tool to come in with if you're Coach Tom Cantrell in the Nighthawks. Again, Bryan, 10 appearances out of the pen. Or excuse me, actually every one of his appearances is out of the pen. He has not had a start. So one of the key relievers for the Nighthawks into the game right now. Take a look at the final line for Moore. Of course, the 2 base runners belong to him. Moore, 5 in the third inning, gave up 4 hits, 3 runs. They were all earned, 3 walks, and 3 strikeouts. A heck of a line against this Georgia College offense. So Bryan comes in and is quickly in the hole. 2-0 to Nate Schmall. Schmall 0 for 2 on the day. Struck out looking and ground to the pitcher. 1 run is already in here in the top of the 6th for Georgia College. Runners at second and first. Purcell is at second. Clayton Ayers at first. Ayers just had the RBI single that chased Moore. So Georgia College has closed the gap to 2. They want to do more right now. 2-1 is the count. And that was lifted foul out of play to the left side. Next pitch. Misses, runs the count full. They chase Purcell back to the bag at second. With the 3-2 on the way to Schmall. Runners go. Schmall lifts it into left field. Out there is Dempsey. He camps out underneath it and makes the easy catch. 2 away. So it's going to be up to Philip Stiles to see if Georgia College can add any more to the scoreboard here. Stiles 0 for 2 on the day, a couple of flyouts to center field. Stiles is a graduate student, actually, at Georgia College from Lumberton, New Jersey. Got his degree from Cumberland College. And here's a shot right up the middle, a line drive. That should score the runner from second. So great piece of hitting by Stiles. And the gap has been closed to 1. Purcell comes around. And Ayers moves over to second. 5-4. And it is so difficult to keep this Georgia College team down, especially when you're playing your 4th game in 3 days, as North Georgia is. Stiles have been hitting .450 with 2 outs. And delivered there. Big 2-out single. Drives in the run. Garrett Green up to bat now. Green 0 for 2 on the day. Ground out to the pitcher in his last at bat. Still runners at first and second. Big cut by Green, comes up empty. 1-1. Energy in the stadium definitely reaching a peak here. In the top of the six, big swing and a miss. He reached for it. Good pitch that time by Bryan, going outside of the zone and getting Green to chase it. Man, Coach Eller wants to have a word with his batter. I can imagine the first things is, don't do that. 1-2 is the count. 2 gone here, still in the top of the 6th inning. Our game is about the where are we at here, Mr. Hawkins? 220. 220 mark, okay. The 1-2 on the way. Fouled back to the screen. And the next pitch also fouled out of play. And here's a shot out into shallow center field. Charging in is Tomlinson. He cannot get to it. And that is going to score 1 run and be a double for Garrett Green. Clayton Ayers came around to score. Stiles is going to end up at third. That was just a little blooper out into shallow center. Tomlinson, who was playing deep, charged in, dove for it, but couldn't quite get there. Good job by the right fielder Corbett and coming into cover. And we are all knotted up at 5. So this might be the big inning the Bobcat faithful, Bobcat Nation as their call was waiting for. And it's not over yet. Back to the top of the order we go, and Cal Gentry. Gentry 1 for 3 on the day, had a single and scored in the 3rd. And he's ahead in the count, 1-0. Next pitch is strike. They even count at 1-1. So 3 runs already across. Runners at second and third with 2 out. In fact, nice piece of 2-out hitting. The 1-2 on the way. Fouled off. So again, just a scheduling note for those of you who might have missed the announcement earlier, we're going to start play tomorrow at 10 a.m. with Flagler and UNC Pembroke. And we will play the next game, whatever it is, at 1:30, whether it's the championship game or whether it's a second Georgia College North Georgia game. So that is the plan. Starting at 10 a.m. tomorrow. I'll say that a couple more times for those who might be tuning in and out as we progress along tonight. We are climbing up towards the 11 o'clock hour here on the eastern coast of the United States. I say that because you'd be surprised how many people we get from all over the world who listen, watch our games on YouTube. Big audience for PBC tournament. Of course, we appreciate all of you tuning in tonight to check out this very entertaining game so far. It is 5-5, and a big moment is they're going to take a break here. The 1-2 pitch on the way to Gentry. I think he's fouled off 3 of these already. And this could be a game-changing moment. He drives one to outfield. Both runs are going to score. Gentry delivers with 2 outs. That's 3 straight 2-out hits. Stiles is going to score, and Garrett Green is going to score. And I had been kind of waiting for it, and here it is, the big inning. 5 runs so far in this 6th for Georgia College. And they have taken their first lead of the game, 7-5. So our new batter is Brandon Benson. The hits just keep coming for Georgia College, I swear. And Benson lifts one into the outfield. Going back is Tomlinson, ranging to his left, and he makes the catch on the run. Nice piece of outfield work by Tomlinson there to retire the side, but the damage done. The Bobcats send 9 men to the plate in the 6th inning. 5-run score, and they have taken a 7-5 lead. We'll be back with more from the PBC tournament. To the bottom of the 6th inning we go, and for the first time tonight, North Georgia finds themselves trailing as it is 7-5 Georgia College. First pitch on the way to North Georgia's Andres Perez is lifted out to center field. Logan Maddox there to gather it in, and there's one away here to start the bottom of the 6th. We talked about the good job that Gabe Moore had done in a tough spot for North Georgia. Well, you can say almost the same thing. You can't say the exact same thing about Trevor Guthrie here for Georgia College. Guthrie working into the 6th inning. He had 51 innings of work during the season, and the next pitch he will deliver will be pitch number 100 on the night for him. We talked a lot about how good Georgia College is, but actually the team that has scored the most runs in the nation this year, total runs, was North Georgia. Georgia College had the most runs per 9 innings, or runs per game, if you will, in the country, but North Georgia actually had the most total runs scored of any team in all of Division II. So to come in here and have a solid outing, which Guthrie has had, is very noteworthy. Pitch in there, called strike, and that is pitch number 101 for Guthrie tonight. .63 of those have gone for strikes, so a very good percentage for Guthrie. 1-1. That one inside misses, 2-1. The 2-1 on the way. Misses outside, 3-1. Guthrie's not been perfect tonight. Got into trouble a couple of times, gave up those 5 runs, but he's been solid. He's kept the Nighthawks from blowing up in an inning. And allowed his Bobcats to come back at this one, although he issues a walk right there with 1 out to Devin Gearhart. So Gearhart, is on base for the 3rd time in 4 plate appearances tonight. He had a couple of singles, and now he's got a walk. And that's going to bring up Connor Hoover. Hoover's having a great night himself. 2 for 2 on the night. Singled is scored in the 1st, drew a walk, and then scored in the 3rd, and singled again in the 4th. And we're going to have a little meeting at the mound as Brandon Purcell is going to go out and talk to his pitcher. Purcell makes it quick. And now Jason Eller is going to come out and talk. And we just might have our first pitching change for Georgia College tonight. As he looks down towards the bullpen, he hasn't made a motion yet. But he takes the ball out of the hands of Guthrie, and we'll make a pitching change. We're going to come back and tell you all about it in just a moment. The new pitcher for Georgia College is going to be number 29, Perry Keith. Keith, a sophomore righty from LaGrange, Georgia. Went to Gordon College before transferring to Georgia College. LaGrange in the southwest portion of the state, kind of near, halfway about between Columbus and Atlanta, out there near the Alabama border. Keith on the season, 2-2 with a 6.80 ERA. He has made 16 appearances and 4 starts for the Bobcats, 42 in a third inning of work. 48 hits, 36 runs, 32 of those were earned. He's walked 9, struck out 13 batters, hitting .284 against him. He's got that distinctive submarine-style motion that you'll see, where he dips that right arm down low before bringing it to the plate. And he's going to start off by facing against Connor Hoover. Hoover, the second-team All-Conference shortstop, the 2015 PBC Freshman of the Year. And he takes strike one. Hoover bats from the left, and that should actually give him an advantage against the submarine style. It's going to be the right-handers, I think, who have a big problem with the kind of delivery that Perry Keith has. And time was called before the pitch. Don't know exactly what the problem was there, but our home plate umpire, T.R. Sloan, took a little walk. Hoover with a runner on first and 1 out. That one's inside and low. Ball 2. Hoover chops it towards second. There to get it is Green over to first. Did he get it? Yes, he did. Nice job by Clayton Ayers there, staying on the bag as that throw was just a little bit off the line from Green. But Hoover is actually retired for the first time tonight. And that is a big second out here in the bottom of the 6th. So that is going to bring up Michael Gouge to the plate. Gouge, 1 for 3 on the night, had an RBI double and later scored. That was in the 3rd inning. He's also struck out and flown out to center. The ground out by Hoover allowed Gearhart to move up to second, though, so a runner is in scoring position for Gouge with 2 out. And he is hit by the first pitch from Perry Keith. Took that one right in the leg, and he'll go down to first. So that'll bring up Trevor Sams. Sams 1 for 1 tonight. Had an RBI single in the first and drew a walk in the 3rd and another walk in the 5th. That walk in the 5th, he came around and scored. In fact, that was the last run that the Nighthawks put on the board. Again, another right-hander facing that submarine-style Perry Keith throws. And you got to be a little bit nervous if you're standing in there after you hit the bat ahead of you. Hit the guy ahead of you, who was also a right-handed hitter. Keith catches the corner that time. Nice pitch. 1-1. Here's a drive out to right. That's going to stay inside the park and fair. Good job cutting it off by Womack. And what a run is going to score. And North Georgia is coming right back. RBI single by Trevor Sams. His second RBI of the day. So Gearhart scores. Gouge goes all the way to third. I said a good job by Womack because the way that ball was trailing, looked like it was going to go down to the corner against the wall, but Womack came over there and cut it off and turned what might have been a double and kept it a single. Nevertheless, the damage is done. The run scores, and another runner's at third with 2 out. And Bill Leroy coming up to bat for North Georgia. Leroy 2 for 3 on the night, had an RBI single in the first and an RBI double in the fifth. So he's had a hot bat tonight, and he looks at strike one from Perry Keith. That run score puts the finishing touches on the night for Guthrie. 5 in the third inning, 9 hits, 6 runs, all earned. 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. And Leroy lifts it into the air. Second baseman Green drifting back and makes the catch. And that'll end the inning. But whoa, what a game we've got here for you tonight. We're heading to the top of the seventh. It's 7-6, Georgia College. To the top of the seventh inning we go, and a new pitcher on the mound for North Georgia. Number 17, Derek Pickfett, the sophomore righty from Cumming, Georgia. Product of West Forsyth High School. Pickfett on the season 5-0. This is appearance number 13. He has made a start. 4.56 ERA, 25 and 2/3 innings of work. And the first pitch he delivers is a fly ball out to deep right field, but there to get it is Corbett. The batter was Logan Maddox, so Maddox is retired after one pitch from Pickfett after he just came in and out of the bullpen. And there's one away here in the top of the seventh. 7-6, Georgia College on top. It's been a back-and-forth affair and a very good game so far between the 1 and 3 seeds here in the PBC tournament. Wesley Womack up now. Didn't finish talking about Pickfett, though. 25 and 2/3 innings of work. 13 strikeouts, 16 walks given, 276 batters hitting against him. And he faces off against Womack right now. Womack 0 for 3 tonight. And he skies one in the air. It's going to stay in play. A little pop up to the third baseman, Gouge. And just like that, 2 are away for Georgia College. So Pickfett, the third North Georgia pitcher tonight. And I have a feeling that might have been the plan for head coach Tom Cantrell and the Nighthawks all along. As the first pitch on the way to Brandon Purcell is low for ball one. Purcell tonight 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the sixth, part of that 5-run outburst. And he takes ball 2. Purcell sends one right up the middle, and that's going to get through there for a base hit. So the first hit of the night for him comes with 2 outs. And he stands on first for Clayton Ayers. Walla Walla, can you hear me? Clayton Ayers had an RBI single in his last at-bat. That drove in Logan Maddox and really was the start of what turned into a 5-run 6th inning for the Bobcats. So Ayers is back up again an inning later with 2 out and a runner at first. And Pickett, is going to keep an eye on Purcell at first base. Purcell is second on the team, Georgia College, in steals. He's got 10 steals in 13 attempts. We'll have to see how Coach Jason Eller is going to approach this with 2 outs. I don't believe he would actually send Purcell on a steal attempt in this situation. But you never know. And here's a chopper that goes foul. Count goes to 1-1. The 1-1 on the way to Ayers, misses low and outside. Here's a drive to the left side. Hoover's there, knocks it down. I don't know if he's going to have time. He's not. The throw gets away from the first baseman, Sams. That'll allow the runner to go from second to third. So an error after the hit, so hit and an error. So Ayers reaches first with a single, his second straight. Purcell goes to second on that hit, but then goes to third on an error by the shortstop Hoover on the throw. Again, there was really no way Hoover was going to make that play at first. And he kind of forced it and short hopped the throw, and it was all that Trevor Sams could do at first to keep that ball in front of him, and instead it hit his glove and then bounced off to the side, and that allowed the runner to go from second to third. So runners at the corners now with 2 out. For Nate Schmall. Schmall 0 for 3 on the day. And back-to-back 2-out singles by the Bobcats here in the 7th. Here's a drive out into left field. Dempsey has plenty of room and makes the catch, and that'll end the inning. So Georgia College threatens but cannot add to their lead, and we head to the bottom of the 7th. It's stretch time, so stand up and hum a little. Take me out to the ballpark wherever you are as we head to the bottom of the 7th. 7-6 Georgia College. Bottom of the 7th inning, 7-6 ball game for Georgia College and North Georgia. The Nighthawks up to bat here. Connor Corbett's going to lead things off. Facing off against Perry Keith. First pitch is low and inside, ball 1. Next pitch also misses inside. So 3 straight pitches, 3 straight balls from Keith to Connor Corbett. Corbett 1 for 3 on the day, had an RBI single back in the 3rd. And a 4-pitch walk for Corbett. And the tying run is on base. Next batter, Stephen Tomlinson. And he takes a ball. So 5 straight balls issued by Keith. And Brandon Benson, the senior captain, player of the year, is going to come in and have a word with his pitcher. Need to let our viewing audience know that we are currently tracking a little weather system that's heading into our area. Game administrators were talking to the officials in between games, and there might be some precipitation heading our way. Weather we can deal with, lightning we can't. So another ball, though, and it seems like after every pitch, somebody has to go out and talk to Perry Keith. 6 straight balls he's thrown. And the next pitch also misses low. There is activity in the Georgia College bullpen. And finally he delivers a strike after 7 straight balls. So 3-1 the count now. Nobody out. Tying run is at first. And the next pitch is also in there, strike 2. Here's a chopper to short, could be 2. Over to second and to first, in time. No, not in time. Great speed that time by Tomlinson as he beat it out. They got Corbett at second, 6-4 for the first out, but Tomlinson gets there on the fielder's choice. Looked like they turned that pretty cleanly. Benson to Green, but Tomlinson just boogied on down the line and beat it out, so that's just 1 out. And Cal Dempsey's going to come to the plate. Dempsey 0 for 3 today. Struck out in his last at-bat. And he looks at ball one. Next pitch right down the pike for a strike. Next pitch chopped foul. Count goes to 1-2. Call, strike three. Nice breaking pitch that time from Keith. Gets the big second out for Georgia College. So after struggling with his control, and issuing a walk, Heath gets a ground out and a strikeout and is 1 out away from getting out of this inning. Next batter is Andres Perez. Perez 0 for 3 today, flew out to center in his last at bat. And another strike. So whatever problems Perry Keith was having, he seems to have figured them out. And now he's delivering bullets. 1-1 the count. Perez lifts one to center. Maddox drifts underneath and makes the catch. And trouble is evaded by Georgia College. So we head to the top of the 8th inning. Your score, Georgia College 7, North Georgia 6. We'll be back with more from the PBC tournament. So to the top of the 8th we go. A back and forth affair. Georgia College holding a 7-6 lead. They scored 5 runs in the top of the 6th after trailing the entire game. They would love nothing more than to add to that right here, and they're going to look to Philip Stiles to start. Stiles 1 for 3 on the day, hit an RBI single and scored in his last at-bat as part of that big 6th inning. And he sends the first pitch he sees deep to center field, actually to shallow center field. Tomlinson coming in, and he'll make the can of corn catch right there for the first out. So 1 pitch, 1 out for North Georgia. As Pickfett starts his 2nd inning of work. And he'll face off against Garrett Green. Green had a big blow in his last at-bat, an RBI double. That came with 2 out. Back in the 6th. And he sends a chopper over to short. Takes a bad hop on Connor Hoover, but he comes up firing and got him. So Connor Hoover, the ball took a weird bounce off of the dirt. Might have hit a clump or a small rock or something and skied on him. But he went and got it and came out gunning and nailed him at first. So Garrett Green goes down 6-3. And we go back to the top of the order now. And Cal Gentry. Gentry 2 for 4 on the day. He had a 2-run single in his last at-bat. Again, part of that big 6th inning for Georgia College. Pickfett comes set, throws high. Here's a chopper towards the right side, fielded by the first baseman Sams, over to Pickfett covering at first, and a 1-2-3 inning. And down go the Bobcats just like that. We head to the bottom of the 8th, still 7-6. Bottom of the 8th, and North Georgia is going to need to find a way to scratch across another run to tie this one up. And they've got 6 outs left to work with. And we're back to the top of the order for the Nighthawks, and Devin Gearhart coming back up. Gearhart 2 for 3 on the day, a couple of singles. He also has drawn a walk and scored 2 runs. So good output by the leadoff man for the Nighthawks. So again, let me remind you of the stakes of this game. If Georgia College holds on to win this one, then North Georgia is eliminated from the PBC tournament, and Georgia College has earned an automatic spot. It jumps right into the championship game, the winner-take-all championship game tomorrow. If North Georgia comes back and wins this contest, and here's a drive to left. Great catch by Brandon Benson at short. He leapt up and nailed it. An L6 for the first out as Gearhart is retired for only the 2nd time today. So if North Georgia comes back and wins this one, then these 2 teams will play again tomorrow. And as I mentioned earlier, we've changed our scheduled times. 10 a.m. the first game, Flagler versus UNC Pembroke. And then the second game, no matter what it is, even if it's the championship game or if it's this game, will be at 1:30 tomorrow afternoon, weather permitting. As always, the best source for latest news and information on things like that, schedule changes, etc., is the Peach Belt Twitter feed. Our handle is @PeachBelt. And another pitch fouled off to the left side. The count to Hoover is now 0-2. Hoover 2 for 3 today. Couple of singles, and he has scored twice. He also made a great defensive play in the last half inning, gunning down Garrett Green at first on a bad hop. He's in the hole here, though, 1-2. And he skies one in the air. Might stay in the field of play. Going over to get it is Gentry. He's got it in foul territory for the second out. And that'll bring up Michael Gouge. Gouge, 1 for 4 on the day. He had an RBI double back in the third inning. He was hit by a pitch in his last at-bat. Ironically, that was the first batter that our current pitcher for Georgia College, Perry Keith, faced. And he laces one right to third. Gentry there gets it across the diamond in time, and 1-2-3. Down go the Nighthawks. So we head to the top of the ninth inning. Your score still Georgia College 7, North Georgia 6. Top of the ninth inning, Georgia College holding on to that one-run lead, wanting to add to it. And here's just the guy to get things started, Brandon Benson. And he takes ball one from Pickfett. Derek Pickfett has actually done a really good job over the last 3 innings in relief for North Georgia. Benson on the day, 1 for 4, but the one was an RBI triple. He grounds one over to Hoover at short across the diamond and in time, and he was retired. 6-3. That's going to bring up Logan Maddox. Maddox 1 for 4 today. That's just 1 for 4. Had a sac fly back in the third. He also had a single in the the sixth. Later scored. Line score, Georgia College 7 runs on 9 hits, no errors. North Georgia 6 runs on 10 hits, 1 error. The error rather inconsequential at the time, just allowed a runner to get from second to third. And I believe that runner was stranded anyway. He was. So 7-6. Pickfett delivers. That one's low. 2-0. Maddox takes a cut, fouls it off. Strike one. See a good look at the uniforms Georgia College is wearing tonight. I like them. They're kind of a shiny gray pinstripe, green trim, looking good. Maddox sporting the, what do they call that with the socks? The stirrups. Yeah. The old Steve Bedrosian. Look. The 2-1. That one's driven to third baseman, gathered up there by Gouge across the diamond to Sams in time. And there are 2 away here in the 9th. And that'll bring up Wesley Womack. Womack is 0 for 4 today. He was hit by a pitch in his first at bat, but has not been back on base since. Nobody on, 2 out here in the top of the 9th. Pickford delivers high, ball 1. Next pitch misses low and outside. Ball 2. That one catches that outside corner. Nice fastball that time from Pickford. Called strike 1. Next pitch is fouled back and out of play. Evens the count 2-2. Deuces Wild here. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Nobody on for Georgia College here, top 9. Pickford delivers. That one fouled and is going to reach the concourse. Next pitch is in the dirt. That'll move the count full, 3-2. And a liner right back up the middle. Hoover almost came over to get it, but it got past him into center field, so a base hit for Womack. That'll bring up Brandon Purcell. Purcell 1 for 3 on the day. Drew a walk and scored in the 6th. Had a single in the 7th. Tenth hit of the day for Georgia College. Now both teams with 10 hits. And we're going to have a visit to the mound from North Georgia. Don't know if there's anybody warming up down in their bullpen or not. But that'll be the end of the day for Brandon Pickford. Derek Pickford, excuse me, my apologies. So we're going to find out who our new pitcher is there. You see him coming in for the bullpen. We'll have all this information when we return in just a moment. Your new pitcher for the Nighthawks is the sophomore lefty, number 18, Jack Fleming from Dacula, Georgia, and Mill Creek High School. Fleming. No wins or losses this year. To be appearance number 16 for him, a 6.39 ERA. He does lead the team with 4 saves on the season. 12.2 innings of work, 15 hits, 9 runs, all earned, 9 walks, and 13 strikeouts. Batters hitting .294 against him. So Fleming's going to try and shut the door here with 2 out and a runner on as he faces off against Brandon Purcell. Purcell, 1 for 3. As Fleming goes over to first and nearly throws it away. He delivers a strike. The 0-1. Nope. Never mind. Fleming seems to be paying an unduly amount of attention to the runner at first. Wesley Womack with 2 outs as he is shot out to center field. Oh, ranging over is Tomlinson. He makes the catch on the run, and that'll end the inning. So it all comes down to this. North Georgia's got one last chance to get that 1 run. 1 run will tie it, 2 runs will win it. And we'll be back with the bottom of the 9th at the PBC tournament. And your new pitcher for Georgia College, when it comes time to close the game, you call upon your closer, and that is exactly what Coach Jason Eller has done, as I am losing the ability to speak. Grant Kahn is in the game for Georgia College. Kahn, 2-0, 3.18 ERA. He leads the team with 7 saves on the year, 28 and a third innings of work. 17 runs, 10 of those earned, 18 walks, 23 strikeouts. Batters hitting .298 against him. Kahn's appearance puts the book to close on Perry Keith. 2 1/3 for Keith. Gave up 1 hit, no runs, 1 walk, 1 strikeout in 33 pitches. So a great job of holding by Perry Keith. If this was in the major leagues, Mr. Hawkins, he would get a hold for that. But it's not, so it's Kahn in there, a second-team all-conference relief pitcher. And he stands in there ready to close the book and shut down North Georgia if he can, as this crowd comes to life as we have reached the bottom of the 9th And Trevor Sams is going to start things off for the Nighthawks. Sams 2 for 2 on the day. He has reached base all 4 times he has come up to bat. 2 RBI singles and 2 walks. He has also scored a run. So this is a guy you want for the Nighthawks to try and rally right here. The drama doesn't get much better than this. First pitch on the way, high and outside, ball 1. Next pitch in there. Fastball at the knees, strike 1. Another ball makes the count 2-1. Every pitch being greeted by cheers or groans, depending on which side of the stadium you're sitting on. Shot out to short. Benson gets it up and over to first in time. 1 away for the Bobcats. As Sams is retired for the first time today, that'll bring up the designated hitter, Bill Leroy. Leroy 2 for 4 today, had an RBI single in the first and an RBI double in the 5th. So Leroy stands in there with 1 out, nobody on. His team down 1 in the bottom of the 9th. Strike from Kahn. And it's all I can do not to make Star Trek references. The 0-1. Also in there, nice fastball from Kahn. 0-2. Kahn wastes one outside, trying to get Leroy to chase it. Leroy having none of that. Ball 1. Another one squirts away on the outside as Purcell has to get out there and block it. Nobody on base, though, so no harm if it gets away from him at this point. 2-2. Here's a drive, and again to short. Benson up with it again. Over to first in time. Back-to-back grounders over to short, and North Georgia is down to their last out here at the Peach Belt Tournament. Perhaps. And it's all going to come down to Connor Corbett. Corbett 1 for 4 today, hit an RBI single back in the 3rd. He actually drew a walk. I should say 1 for 3. He drew a walk in his last at-bat in the 8th. And he looks at ball 1 from Kahn. Next pitch in there for a strike. Chopper again to short. Benson's got it over to first, and Georgia College has punched their ticket to the Peach Belt Conference Championship game. The Bobcats win it 7-6, and they will play either Flagler or UNC Pembroke tomorrow at 1:30. So congratulations to the Bobcats. as they are going to play for the title. But also a special note of congratulations to the North Georgia Nighthawks, who, playing through the losers bracket, had to play a whole lot of baseball in the last 24 hours and came all the way down to the final strike. And boy, were they game to play. You have not seen the last of the Nighthawks. They will definitely be a part of the NCAA regional tournament next weekend, most likely in Mount Olive, North Carolina. All right, Ken Gerlinger here to wrap it up from Sparrow Stadium, Cornell Field in Francis Marion. And believe it or not, the rains just started minutes after we were finished with our game. Final score, North Georgia College defeats North Georgia 7-6. Your winning pitcher is going to be Trevor Guthrie. Guthrie, a yeoman's effort for the Bobcats, went 5 1/3 innings, gave up 9 hits, 6 runs all earned, 4 walks, and 2 strikeouts. The loss is going to go to Josh Bryan. Bryan was the pitcher of record during that big sixth inning outburst that provided the winning margin. So Bryan worked 2/3 of 1 inning, gave up 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, and that's it. No walks or strikeouts. Game time was 3 minutes. I wish. 3 hours and 52 minutes, 130 people. I want to thank everybody for watching today. And just a reminder that our schedule for tomorrow is set 10 a.m. It'll be Flagler versus UNC Pembroke in game number 1 at 10 a.m. The winner of that game will play Georgia College for a winner-take-all championship game. That'll start at 1:30, weather permitting. Again, get all the latest updates by following us on Twitter. @PeachBelt is the handle. For everybody here at the FMU Media Services Center, I want to thank everybody for their hard work today. I'm Ken Gerlinger of the Peach Belt Conference Office, and we'll see you tomorrow here at the PBC Tournament.